I'm going to call to order this work session for the Board of Commissioners. It's April 13th, 2022. We'll begin with Ms. Caudle. Good morning again.
Good morning. I think that this will be super quick, but with the pandemic, we have acquired a lot of things for our testing site that we had up, the vaccine sites, the PPE, and in terms of looking forward and planning, I know the state is wanting local health departments to think in terms of having, a couple months worth of PPE and certain supplies, and storage is at a premium. So we've utilized the airport, but certainly access to that is limited because it is it's the airport and they've got to have that secure. So we are just wanting to secure a storage facility. Lee Baker has looked at the agreement. He didn't have any issues with that. And I just wanted to come to you before I submitted an actual request for that. I wanted to come to you and make sure that you were okay with it. This would be paid for from the Public Health Preparedness Grant funds.
Great. That sounds really good. Questions, comments, Commissioner Gibbons?
Well, if I look at this, if I'm correct with the numbers you gave us, it's going to be like $3,000 a year. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think it would be around $230 a month, they think is what we figured, an estimate. Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Jones?
Storage is always a huge problem. It sounds like this is needed.
And this is, it was temperature controlled, so the supplies will be in good shape when you need it. And I like the fact that it would be accessible anytime if something came up. So that's awesome. Have you talked to emergency management about this in terms of whether they would maybe need access, or if there are other things that could also be added? Items?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Christina has talked directly, that she talked with the director prior or with the deputy currently. We certainly can. We worked very closely with them. Yep. And so if they have a need for additional storage, I'm sure that we could work that out. That would not be a problem. But right now it's really about the things that we're kind of required to hold on to and utilize.
Yeah, of course. I'm just thinking they may have some of the same kinds of supplies left over as well. So yeah, it may be good. Okay, excellent. It sounds really good. And proceed, please. Yes. Okay.
Please. All right. I will see you soon with that contract. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging around and waiting for us. Appreciate it. All right. Next we have an item from planning, and it is regarding ordinance 2022-09 regarding site plan review. We have our new director, Ms. Nestor Jellin, joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. Thanks for having me. So I want to go through a quick PowerPoint for this work session, since this is a larger text amendment, and I want to give a little bit of background and research before I go into the text amendment itself. So this is a text amendment to Chapter 815, which is regarding our site plan review. And this would amend the standards for submitting a certified site plan, a certified plot plan, and a scaled plot plan drawing. So I just want to go over what the biggest impact will be of this text amendment for those listening and for the commissioners. So the biggest impact will be felt, we feel, by people that are building brand new single family and two family residential units that are not on an existing foundation or it's on a vacant lot. They will now be asked to submit what's called a certified plot plan. The items that will be staying the same, that are just sort of being reorganized or able to be better clarified under this text amendment, is that commercial construction will still require a certified site plan, And residential additions, remodels, accessory structures such as pools, detached sheds, garages, those will still be able to submit a scaled plot plan drawing. So that's like a hand drawing that's not necessarily certified by a surveyor or engineer. So we've worked to get the word out. This text amendment has gone through the Plan Commission and received a favorable vote. And so we just want to let you know that we are trying to tell other people, because as you know, surveyors and engineers, they have a little bit of lead time before they can get plans up and running for people that are wanting to get a certified plot plan if that becomes a requirement. So we've put together a press release, which can be found on the county website. We've also posted on our new OpenGov site so that if anyone is applying for new residential construction, they check a box. A help text shows up to say that, you know, we may be requiring a certified plot plan beginning at the end of April, should the text amendment go through. And we've also done some background of what we have currently to understand, is this going to be a 0 to 100 change for people, or what is the impact going to be of some sort of text amendment like this? So we did a review of our software, all of the building permits that have been submitted for Monroe County. So this text amendment will be for Monroe County, excluding Town of Ellisville and City of Bloomington. And we looked at permits submitted between February 24th of 2021 and September 16th of 2021. And that was 95 residential permits total. So what we received in coming in is that 53%, almost 54% submitted certified plans already to construct a new residential unit. Then there were some that submitted a scaled drawing, and 6.3% were asked to go ahead and submit a certified plan, and a scaled drawing was inadequate. And then 40% were able to proceed with just a scaled drawing. So we have about 40% typically that would be asked now to submit a certified plot plan if this were to go through as just a sample of what we have happening at the county today. So we have also done a lot of research before this text amendment went through. We reached out to several design professional groups in the county. I have data at the end if anyone is interested from 3 of those design professional groups about timeline and costs. And then we've also received feedback from 4 surveyors and a building association representative on the actual text amendment. And we've heard from and listened to people that have called in and asked questions, other departments. So we have a lot of feedback that we've gotten to date. And I will say that if this does proceed, we will be still listening to people and trying to make amendments as we see fit or as are needed. And so this isn't a one size fits all or a one and done text amendment. We do intend, and we will try to work with people on making this helpful for the public, the environment, the community. So I want to go over some of the benefits of this text amendment, because a lot of people will see this as a cost to property owners. So I want to talk about what happens here in the office, about some of the people that go through with a scale drawing and what things we could prevent maybe by having a certified plot plan for people. So if you have a certified plot plan, you can have an understanding of your property lines and prevent building over lot lines. A quick review just of our one type of administrative subdivisions that shift lot lines. We saw that 4 were derived from people that were built off of their own lot in the last 4 years. So we do see it in, you know, some commonalities across the county of people having this concern, and fences especially, I think, maybe don't get picked up by our office, but are often over property lines. It can also illustrate areas of concern for people. It can protect home buyers by knowing the residential home location before they build a brand new residential structure. It can assure county ordinances are being met. And then it's just helpful documentation for current and future property owners to know where is the buildable area on this lot. Should I want to do an addition, or should I want to add structures, and just making sure that the home was built in the best location possible. And we hope that it's saving money for people in the long run and protecting both the environment and the public. So the recommendation that we received is favorable. We received a favorable recommendation on February 15th by the Plan Commission of a vote of 7-1. And we are hopeful that we can schedule a formal hearing on this for April 27th. And I just want to let you know about the 90-day mark, which is a state statute that from the time that it received a recommendation by the Plan Commission to when the county commissioners need to vote on it, that would be May 16th. And so we are also in a support of a favorable vote on this. So now that I've gone through some of that, let me go ahead and go through what this text amendment actually says. So this is a change to chapter 815. As I mentioned, it is a relatively big change for us, and we're hoping that it's a little bit more user-friendly the way that we have this laid out. So I'll go ahead and explain how we've done this so far. So we've split this into 3 categories: commercial structures, residential structures, and residential accessory structures. And we have below that the applicability and requirements for each of those different types. So it also includes a relationship to other parts of the ordinance as to what the use is for the property, as to whether it could be considered, let's say, commercial or residential, or even residential or residential accessory. And so those are listed below as well. Then you come to a table that identifies the standards that you have to have included in your drawing. So whether it's certified site plan, certified plot plan, which is a little bit lower bar than a certified site plan. Some of the things that may be different are you're probably not going to show the whole proposed grading on the site. You're probably not going to have any required landscaping, required outdoor lighting, things like that will be different between the commercial and residential plot plan. And then you also have the accessory requirements. So underneath, these are where the requirements begin, and it's listed out. So for instance, the accessory structures have a plot plan to scale. So a homeowner or somebody qualified could draw their own plan for a new residential accessory structure. As with the commercial and residential, you will have to go through a professional and have those plans certified. And then below that, it will have different standards that need to be included in that drawing so that somebody that is able to be contracted to do the work, or a homeowner that's doing their own drawing, can use this as a checklist to make sure that they have the components that we're going to be looking for to make sure that once submitted to the building department, there's no time lapse of that review because they're missing items under chapter 815. So most of the text in black are actually, those are standards that have already been existing for all types of construction. So the items in blue are what is changing. And I would say that we worked very closely with the stormwater team as well to make sure that any new requirements or things that are best practices to make sure that people aren't having drainage concerns, which is one of the biggest issues that we see out in the county as far as complaints go, that we're trying to make sure that there's good drainage to residential homes that are being built brand new. And the way to do that is to make sure that you have positive drainage away from the structures. And then we're also updating this, since it hasn't been updated in quite some time, to make sure that we're following all buildable area requirements, since those texts have gone in since this original adoption. And I think that's mostly it. If you have any questions or want me to go over anything else, I'd be happy to do so.
All right. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
That's a lot to absorb. But I'll get through it before next week. Or 2 weeks, I guess, so they're looking for it, right?
Yeah. Commissioner Jones?
Not at this time.
Yeah, I really am glad that this is coming forward now, and we've been working on it for quite some time, and Plan Commission meetings and committee meetings. And really, this is about protecting the homeowners who are already there and businesses that already exist, to make sure that somebody else isn't going to build something that's going to cause problems and an expense for them that they weren't anticipating. So it really is a way to support our current residents and business owners. So appreciate the hard work on this, and it's great. I really appreciate the explanation with the benefits listed and all of that. I think that's a smart way to do it. So very good. So we will see this, what, 2 weeks you said? Yes? Excellent. Very good. All right. Anything else? Okay, we're great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other business for our work session? Mr. Schilling?
Thank you very much. Dave Schilling from the legal department. I just got off the phone with Nick Lawton, the attorney that represented the county in the Houston South case. And he's been looking into ways that the county might recover some of its funds. And there's a Equal Access to Justice Act that allows the recovery of fees, but it only applies to units of government with a net worth of less than 7 million. So we don't qualify for that. But there is what's called a bill of costs that he can file to recover the $400 filing fee that we paid. And that bill of cost filing is due today. So I just thought I'd run up here and see if you would authorize that.
Okay. Any questions or anything on that? Makes sense to me. So we just need to make a motion and vote on an approval to file this paperwork for recovery.
Yes.
I will make that motion. Let's wait for a second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this
Thank you.
item? Raise your hand on the Zoom screen. I'm glad it worked out. Good timing. All those in favor of approving the motion to recover the filing fee, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. All right. Anything else? All right. With that, we are adjourned. Everyone stay safe today during the storms. Thanks.